So it's going to be a lot of information, as
You
I
want me to
said.
intro you?
Uh, you kind of did.
Oh, but I wasn't recording that part.
Oh, okay. Please introduce.
Okay, we just pressed record, so we'll make it. We take things really seriously around here. But okay, this is Sarah Mariano. She is the stretch therapist. She focuses on stretching. She came into this through personal training and really has evolved her career and has now built a huge community on Instagram and live. So she's going to talk to us all about branding and getting clients. So I'm passing it over to you, stretch therapist Sarah.
Thanks, Vanessa. You are
Webinar
awesome.
for branding, and it keeps kicking me out of the Zoom call.
We keep
I don't know what the fuck.
Lauren, we got some swearing going on there. Every time she gets booted back in, she's not muted. Okay. We'll edit that out of the recording. It's all good.
Hey, I'm not adverse to. I'm sorry, I'm not averse to vanity, but if you are, then we will keep it PG.
It's all good.
Okay. Well, thank you for that intro, Vanessa. Thanks for bringing all of us together. I'll get started because we're a little bit behind. So, if you don't know me, I'm the stretch therapist on Instagram, and I've been a stretch therapist for the last 6 years. And I was able to build my business and my brand through social media. And hi, Lauren. And through social media and also offline as well. So I'm going to show you all the things I've done to build a community and get loyal clients through the door. That was Vanessa. That's your wording, right?
Is it? Oh, maybe.
Maybe one of your team members.
Maybe.
Okay. So what we're going to go over today is a 13-step action plan. So if you've ever been on any of my webinars, all of my webinars have a very clear step-by-step action plan. Goodness gracious. And it's because whenever I've been on webinars, there's never a sort of a clear, this is what you need to do. So I've written it out in 13 steps. And if you stay till the very end, you're going to get worksheets that help you to plan out all of these steps. Okay. Things to ask yourself while we go through this webinar. Who are you serving in your business? What is their problem? So can you provide a solution, a clear solution for them and a clear outcome? These need to be as clear as possible as soon as they go on your webpage or your social media. How can they buy? I can't tell you enough, guys. And Vanessa, I'm sure you can too. And you've all experienced how you've gone on someone's page and there's no clear call to action button. And you're just like, well, how do I even get this product? And then you end up leaving the page. What are you known for, or what do you want to be known for? Is your company name easy to recall? Or is it something people will always forget? Do you pass the 3rd grade test? And I'm going to go through what that is. And remember, don't waste too much time on your logo. A lot of people do. And that's just a small piece of the branding puzzle. You just got to move forward with your business. What is your brand identity? And I'm going to define that for you later on. What's your story? What's your story? We want to hear about that. And can you see, or can your audience or your clientele see your personality come through in your branding? And are your photos and videos consistent? This is getting in my way, all of the people. Okay. And and then I do have a bonus step for you later, but I'm going to show you that later on. So if you do stay till the end, you're going to get a free download, a free PDF that I've spent a lot of time putting together. As you can see a sample here to the right, it's Refocus Your Brand worksheets. And basically they just help you polish your brand into a foolproof business. Okay. They ask all kinds of questions and they help you just sort of lay it out and to get started in building a foundation for your brand. All right. And then at the end, I'm really eager to share with you some of the projects and that we are doing here at the Stretch Therapists. The first one is the Performance Stretch System. If you haven't heard about it already, it's my own personal floor-based assisted stretching program where you can get certified with CanFit Pro, CECs, AFAA, I believe, and oh my gosh, what's the other one? It's another American one. And I'll talk about that at the end. And also a Up Your Insta Game video course where I teach you not just about branding on your social media, but also how to really get the bones of your business started or set up so that you can convert into buyers, followers, bookings, appointments, etc. All right, so I'm the stretch therapist, and my mission is to educate as many people as possible on how to utilize not only their body and their mind, which is why you're here today. We're doing a lot of brain work as well, to its fullest potential. I believe that's where magic happens. So I'm going to show you how I've done it. And I wanted, if you are new to me and who I am, I wanted to share with you some milestones. So I was a personal trainer for a very long time. I've been in the industry for a decade now. And in June 2016, I decided I wanted to switch my entire business to just stretch therapy. So that's stretching people. I decided to make that decision, not lightly, but I did give my clients 6 months in advance to set them up with another trainer and to let them know I'm switching my business completely so I don't do any personal training. A month later, July 2016, I had my first big client reach out to me through Facebook. His name is Harley Pasternak, here at the bottom left. And he is a celebrity personal trainer, and he lives in LA, and he works with Ariana Grande, Lady Gaga, Kanye, Kim Kardashian, etc. And I got a message from him, and he asked if he could book a session because he liked my stuff online. And we'll get into how branding can attract people that you never thought possible. And then in September 2016, I had spent the entire summer learning about how to brand, how to design, how to build my Instagram, how to build my brand. And then in September 16, I finally got traction with, why is this not, there we go. There we go. Finally hit traction with Instagram because I took it seriously and I started to get followers organically. And then not too far after, a year later, I was able to stretch one of my all-time heroes, Will Smith. And that was really great for, it was mostly just such a great boost for my confidence. Okay, why is it? Okay, there we go. And in that same summer of 2017, I embarked on the stretch tour, and that's when I traveled all around Canada and finally got to meet my followers. They booked stretch sessions with me. It was pretty epic. And in August, while I was on the stretch tour, one of the largest rappers in the world became my client and is still my client today. And in 2018, I was able to hire 2 team members and increase my rates to premium rates. I have done a webinar on how to increase your rates, and it's on my website, so you can look into that as well. And in 2019, last year, we grew the team quickly to 9. We got 2 locations and created 4 online programs, now 5 and maybe 6 and 7 this year. And that's my team from last year. This year in January, finally hit 100K on Instagram. It was a huge deal because we've been trying to build organically. And the Performance Stretch System officially launched. And it's been quite a great community builder since. You can see at the bottom left corner, a picture of people who've been certified through the Performance Stretch System. In 2020, our focus will be education, and I'm going to be really investing my time in YouTube and Pinterest, and I've started already. And then 2021, the Stretch Tour Revival, we're hoping to go into the States and Australia maybe. And my goal is to stretch the rock one day. And in 2021, we have confidential projects. Okay, so we're gonna get started on how to create a stunning brand. It begins deeper than you think. Okay, so we're gonna first talk about your demographic. Who are you serving? Is that clear? Okay, you wanna consider what is their age group? What is the population you're serving? Is it moms? Is it desktop warriors? You have to be very specific and clear. And is it a lifestyle that you're, oops, yeah. And what is their lifestyle? So I'll show you an example of figuring out what your avatar, your ideal client's lifestyle is like, because you need to know that in order to speak their language. I want you to think of a real life ideal client you currently have or have thought about, and you're going to go from there. So here's an example. This is based on an actual client I have. He is an active, so generally my demographic is active professionals ages 35 to 45. Specifically, one of my ideal clients who is real is, that's not his real name. He's 44, he's a nurse practitioner, and he loves to work out at Legree, F45, and Good Life. This is very specific, and I want you guys, you'll see it in the worksheets to get very specific. He plays hockey, he rollerblades, and cycles everywhere. He's single, he owns a home downtown. He's social, he likes to party at this bar downtown Toronto called Two Cats, loves classic rock music, goes to concerts, studies, and works hard. He's at the hospital 9 hours a day. He has seniority. He's on multiple industry boards, attends conferences. Look how deep I really go. I really get to know who my demographic is. He loves to travel. He doesn't watch too much TV, but goes to the movies occasionally. He's Caucasian. He makes at least 100 grand a year. He likes to get massages, isn't afraid to go to a party alone. He's loyal, supports his friends, listens to intellectual podcasts and audiobooks, and I would even go as far as to have you write out exactly which books he listens to or reads, and he believes in online courses. Okay? So once you figured out your demographic, what is their problem? What are their pain points that you're going to solve? This data should be second nature to you. So you need to clearly identify their problem. Is it a physical pain? Is it stress? Is it a disorganization? Is it a lack of some sort of knowledge? You need to hit the nail on the head. So here's an example of a specific problem. This is typically for a body worker. Okay? My demographic is experiencing pain in the body, is having difficulty with flexibility and mobility, and therefore quality of life is diminished. So pain, yes, pain is a problem, but why is it a problem? You have to go further than that. It's because their quality of life is diminished. And what do they want? They want to be able to live a high quality life. And it's hard to do that when you're in pain. You need to distinguish that. Here is an example. I don't know if you guys know who Melissa Ramos is. She is Sexy Food Therapy. So can you identify the problem she is addressing here? So I'm gonna give you a moment to read her little blip there. And I want you to put in the chat, guys. Oh, I put the answer here. It was supposed to pop up. Okay, so the problem she's addressing is lack of control and life, in happiness, in health, and poo. Oh, why can't I can't see. One sec. Via hormone imbalance. Okay, so there are a couple of problems here. The obvious problem is the hormone imbalance, but the overall problem they want solved is that they don't have a lack of control in their life, happiness, and in health, and pooing, because, let's face it, everyone needs to poo. This is the problem, okay? So she makes it very clear here. Here's another example, Shopify. I love Shopify, they're Canadian. Can you identify the problem they're addressing? And this is a snapshot of their hero. So once you go on their website, is it friggin' clear what they do? And your website should be, or your social media, anything should be that clear. So what is the problem? The problem they are addressing is people's need to sell product and collect payments online. Okay? And then if you want to go further, it goes beyond that. It's making business easy and therefore their life easy. Okay, I should have written that down, but write that down for yourselves. Okay, so once you distinguish their problem, distinguish their problem, what is your solution for them? You must convey that you have a perfect solution clearly. This is a problem for many, many people. I've gone on their websites. A lot of my coaching clients, I'm sure, Vanessa, you too, or you've had to help them clarify what you can do for them. What is the solution? Why do they need you? Clarity. Do they immediately know what you provide, even if they go on your website? Expectation. What should they expect when they, oops, that's poor grammar. What should they expect when they receive your help? Like, what is the process going to be like for them? And what is the outcome? What are the results they should be expecting? This should be clearly laid out, A, B, C, on your webpage or social media. Here's an example. The solution to the lack of happiness control and hormone imbalance for sexy food therapy is nutritional resources and coaching. That's clear. She's going to help you through resources and through one-on-one coaching. Okay. Other example for Shopify, the solution for not being able to collect payments and build a business online is a website builder with integrated e-commerce. And I don't know if you guys know the story about Shopify. They were the first platform to introduce website building with e-commerce. So what it was before is, let's say WordPress, for example, you could build your website, but then you would have to join another third-party merchant to collect money. Okay. Now a lot of them also integrate e-commerce, but they're the first to do it. Okay, so after you've given them the solution, what is the clear outcome they're going to get? They need to know, that in 3 months, I'm going to be pain-free, okay? So here's an example. Her outcome for Melissa is that her clients will gain control of their life, happiness, health, and poops. Okay, obviously a lot through balancing their hormones, okay? Shopify, you get instant revenue and business growth. And again, if you want to go further, life and business is made easier. Now, how do they buy? I know to you it's obvious, but to them it's not. You have to have a clear call to action, and that could be buttons that are, a bright color or something that's obvious to the eye, to the human eye. Is the process to buy easy? So consider the buyer's journey. Do they have to fight tooth and nail just to get your friggin' product? I know it sounds obvious, but there's been far too many times where I've had trouble, even like in the early days of Amazon or things like that. Even now, sometimes Amazon really pisses me off because they have so much tiny little words, and you don't know that you're gonna have to pay a huge fine on something, right? So make it easy for them. And I break it down for you in the worksheets. Okay, here's an example of a call to action. She has a clear button in red, get started now, basically right after you read what she provides for you. It's a clear sort of step-by-step process. I actually would ideally love for you guys to have in the top right corner a big button that says get started now or book now or whatever, because a lot of people's eyes, they're just used to having that option there. But that's for desktop. Mobile, sometimes it can be a little bit more difficult. Shopify, clearly right in the smack dab in the middle of their page, it says enter your email address and start a free trial. Okay. Now, what are you known for? You have to think of yourself as a company. Okay, so what is your company's expertise? Example for me would be, I wanted to be the go-to stretch therapist worldwide. And so everything I did, every decision I made, even creating my brand, was based on this concept. Oops. Okay, so I want you to think, what do you want to be known for? And you can go through that in the worksheets. That's a question people have a hard time answering properly, because what do you want to be known for, but you also have to be unique. You know what I mean? Okay, company name. You have to choose a name that's memorable, literal, and clear. Now, I know you're thinking, well, there's Apple. Well, there's Pepsi. There's, I don't know. Give me another example. Nike. Those aren't literal. But remember, they spent a lot of time building their brand so that their company name is synonymous with whatever they're selling. That's going to be very hard. Why don't you make it easier for yourself and choose a literal name? You want it to be easy to remember. Don't waste too much time. Whoa, this is bad grammar. Don't waste too much time on the name. Here's an example of something that's so clear but literal and memorable. The neck expert. I mean, you don't necessarily have to just talk about neck, but if people want some neck stretches, they're going to go to you. And of course, you can do hip stretches and stuff, and you can expand from there, but they need to know you're an expert at something. There's another one. I thought this was cool. The Acu-Genius. These are all names I came up with, by the way, but I imagine maybe there's someone out there. The Acu-Genius for someone who's like really good at acupuncture. Mine was the stretch therapist. I mean, how literal can you get? Girls Who Code. GoFundMe. Look how literal it is. Kickstarter. It's like so obvious. And PayPal. Again, very obvious. Okay, now here is a test. It's called Do You Pass the Third Grade Test? And what that is, oops. Okay, ideally it's, here we go. Is what you do clear enough that a third grader can understand and can explain when asked? Okay, so if you have a niece or if you have a child or someone you know is in third grade, hopefully they can explain what you do. So you always want to have a one-liner ready. You know, when you go to networking events or you go to your family's party or friend's party, somebody always asks, so what do? You always have to have a one-liner ready, because I remember back in the day I didn't have one, so I would just ramble. It has to be clear and concise. So here are examples. This is ours for the performance stretch system, teaching you how to stretch clients on the floor. So clear, right? Another one for when we have clients come in to be stretches, we stretch people. Shopify, sell online with Shopify. Another one for a Stripe, which is a e-commerce merchant, is scale faster by building your business on Stripe's payment processing platform. Another one is this is for Kajabi, a complete online business platform for serious entrepreneurs, experts, and influencers. So make sure you practice your one-liner. Okay, now your logo. I'm gonna tell you guys, don't waste too much time or money on your logo. I'm sure you guys know someone who spent like $1,500 on their logo to start. Okay, so this is, you know, when you finally get to a point in your business where you do need a fancy logo, you can upgrade it, do like a nice brand refresh, something like that. But when you're starting, don't spend $1,500 on a logo, because your business could use that money elsewhere. Right? I know a lot of people who have like a very basic logo that they hate, but it's become so popular now that people have grown to like it. I don't love my logo. It's just my name. Okay. So you want to keep it simple and clean. Here are examples, and you'll see in the next slide. Nike, Apple, Adidas. You already probably know those logos. I'm just going to tell you a story about Nike. Nike, do you guys know, Vanessa, do you know how Phil Knight, so Phil Knight is the founder of Nike. You should read his book. It's autobiographical. It's called Shoe Dog. It's freaking phenomenal. And he talks about how he just needed a logo. And so he just hired this design student who just graduated and paid her $35 to create something that resembled like Flow or like Quick or something. And she came up with the swoosh, that very, very famous swoosh, for only $35. And he didn't even like it at first, but he's like, hey, we just need a logo. And now it's like one of my favorite logos of all time. He eventually, the story, I think her name was Caroline. He eventually, years later, I think recently in the 2000s, paid her like a bonus of like, I think it was, I want to say it was like in the millions. He paid her millions to say thank you, which is kind of cool. Okay, so look how simple these logos are. Swoosh, an apple, 3 lines. Ellen's name. I wanted to do some name ones because most of you here are your own brand. Ellen, Martha Stewart, Jordan. I mean, that's pretty epic too. I love Jordans. But mine is just my name, so don't overthink it. Okay. Okay, number 10, what is your brand identity? So that means we got to consider your fonts, and there are primary, secondary, and potentially tertiary fonts that you have to consider. And you don't need to necessarily know exactly what this is. It would help to work with someone who knows, like talk to a designer friend, make friends at a networking event if you can't pay for a designer, or you can watch free webinars. You need to know your fonts and your colors. It's not that hard, guys. So choose a main font that you like for, I guess, the main titles, and then the subtitles, and then the text. And then choose your colors. You want to keep them consistent. So these are my colors, the yellow and the blue. That's part of my style guide or my brand identity. So I try to throw that splash of those colors whenever I can. Here's an example. Obviously, you don't have to do something as professional as this. This was my designer who put this together, but I just wanted to show you. These are the fonts we use, and these are our primary colors, and then some of the tertiary colors. Cool. All right, what's my timing like? Am I doing okay, Vanessa? Yeah?
Yep, we still have like half an hour.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Yeah.
All right. So number 11, I hope you guys are still with me. What is your story? So I bet if I asked you right now, what's your story, you might fumble a bit, or you might have a hard time to clearly tell your story. Behind every brand, there is a relatable story. So I'm sure you guys know, and a lot of you on here are body workers or fitness pros or wellness pros, that you need to relate to your client. When you have them on the table, you try to establish some sort of connection. And they need to know, like, and trust you. So I want you guys to get familiar with this term, know, like, and trust. They need to, get to know you. They need to like you. And then they can begin to trust you and then buy whatever you're selling or whatever. Do they see you as one of them? Because if they don't, you're shit out of luck. Do you have common pain points that you've experienced that they are experiencing currently? Do they feel like you get them? Do they feel like you see them and their struggles? And triumph. Can you give them hope to overcome? Can you give them hope and then share in their triumph together? I would recommend reading this book called Stories That Stick by Kendra Hall. It's a very easy read. She just wrote it. It's super brand new. I think it was on the New York Times bestseller. And she just gives examples of how to create a brand with a good story to tell. And she talks about how stories have helped businesses increase revenue by like tenfold up to. Okay, this is one of my favorite stories. This is a friend of mine. Her name is Lisa Canning. She coaches moms in having their dream biz/life while being a good mom. This is her story. She's got 8 kids under the age of 10. 8 kids under the age of 10. That's really insane. Okay. And watching her YouTube and her Instagram, it's so refreshing because I can't even imagine. She is a business owner who's worked in media and still does. So she was on HGTV. She's friends with the Property Brothers and all that jazz. So you can imagine how busy she was. She struggled with the guilt of working so much. She finally had a rude awakening when her husband was hit with severe clinical depression. Okay, when her husband was hit with severe clinical depression, they had 4 kids, I think, by this time. And that's already like a handful. She redesigned her life to revolve around her family and her passions in life. She was passionate about working interior design and all the stuff, but it took over. It didn't revolve around her family. So now she works hard doing what she loves, which is coaching other moms in order to provide for her family. It's a wonderful story. I urge you to check her out. She's got a great grasp on how to tell her story. Okay, personality. How many times have you guys watched a movie or a TV show and you're just like, ugh, this person has no personality? You want to make sure that you come across as friendly and relatable, right? Allow the true you to shine through. I came up with that. I was very proud of myself. So does your, thanks, Vanessa. So does your personality shine through in your style? So your fonts, your colors, your look, your website, your posts, caption, and your copy. So even in the copy of your website or your Instagram post, does your personality shine through, or is it bland, or have you even considered throwing in a little bit of you in there? Okay. What's the tone like? Are you going to be the personality that's fun, or is it a very serious topic that you want to stay serious and professional and medical, or do you want to have a persona? I was reading the autobiography of Julie Andrews because I love her. She's what was she in? Sound of Music, Mary Poppins. And in her book, she talks about how she would get stage fright to go on stage and perform live. So she was given this advice to create a persona so that when she went on stage, it was less pressure. So I would urge you to take that advice and see if you can fit that in. Okay. So when it comes to personality, I don't know if this is right, but this is something I've done. Think of someone you admire or would like to emulate in some ways, but make it your own. Okay. So I love stand-up comedians. So sometimes I'll take, just little quirky stuff from them and then throw it in my own. Okay, so when it comes to photography and video or videography on your page and such, you want it to be consistent with your brand identity. So just to keep it basic, bright versus dark, do you maintain like the same consistency throughout? So lighthearted or intensity? Here's an example. If you look at the top left corner, that's $7. It's dark and it's intense and it's dramatic. This is The Rock's video production company. It's called $7. He's got a great story about the $7. I urge you to listen to a podcast about it. And it makes sense that it's dramatic and intense because they produce a lot of movies and it's drama. It's a dramatic cinematic event. And then conversely, if you look down to the right corner, there's the iPad, it's Apple. And we all know that Apple is minimalistic and chic and white and clean. So you can see the two different versions here, but it's consistent throughout. They use the same font. Even though it might look boring on its own, it works with their branding. Now here's a bonus slide. Your lead magnet. So do you guys know what a lead magnet is? It's a freebie that you offer on your website or wherever to generate leads, i.e. email addresses. So you want it to be consistent with your brand. So here's an example. I don't know if you guys know who Marie Forleo is. If you go on her site, she offers you a free audio training to get clarity and confidence to build your dreams on your own terms. So it's a free podcast or audio training. And if you once you click download now, it's going to ask you for your email and name, and then you get sent to your email. But what does that give you guys? It gives you emails that you can start sending email campaigns to, or updates, or sell them your products. Okay, great. Hold on. Oh, here's another example. True Local, they're a Canadian company that that delivers meat to your home. This is a pop-up. This is another version of a lead magnet where you get free steaks if you enter your email. On my page, if you enter your email, you get this free PDF guide, and notice I still have splashes of my colors in there. And then this was actually when my brand was something else. So I had purple in it before, but still the blue. Still looks like me. Okay, so I know you have questions. Keep them till the end, because I'm just going to show you some of the things that we've been working on, and I'm really excited. And I think it might answer some of your questions, actually. Okay. So the performance stretch system, for a lot of you here who are body workers or want to get into it, I've developed a system that's floor-based and designed to improve mobility, flexibility, and performance. And it's super fun. It's such a fun course to teach. And everyone who's come so far has been enjoying it tremendously. And we built a community. We do have a online Slack channel where we chat and help each other out. And I don't know, man, it's just been so fulfilling. And this course also includes a highly anticipated business mastermind. So on the last day, I will go over just a snippet of like how you can turn this system into a business. Okay, so this is for people who feel like they want to give more to their clients. Are you struggling to give more value to your clients? So I remember when I was a trainer, I felt like after a while I was getting bored and I was getting complacent and I was getting too comfortable. And I was like, well, how can I add more value to my clients? I've taken so many movement courses, but what else can I do? And then I was introduced to stretch therapy. And I was able to completely shift my brand and my business and generate more income than I could have. So if you're looking for better options and opportunities for your biz, if you're looking for additional streams of revenue, if you're already like an acupuncturist or if you're a yoga instructor and you want something else that adds value, this is for you. And if you're craving to level up your skills and your knowledge toolbox, we'd love to see you there, especially if you're feeling stuck with your clients' programming. I remember when I was a trainer, they would sometimes inevitably get injured or a tweak, and I felt hopeless and helpless. I wanted to help them out instead of just sending them to some random chiro. So I wanted to at least offer them something that could help them in that moment, and then of course refer them out to a professional. And we have such a supportive community. I'd love for you to join us. Okay. So what is the performance stretch system? Vanessa's been stretched by me before. And it's, as I said, this assisted stretching system is created by combining facets of critical influences, including yoga. I am a certified yoga instructor, rehab practices, FST, Z Health, which is neuroscience, Thai massage, mobility WOD, martial arts, all the full gamut. And of course, I've worked with a board of chiropractor advisors to assess every stretch for its effectiveness and safety. Okay, I promise I'm almost done. What you'll get out of the program, for those of you interested, is a 90-minute stretch stretch sequence that you can do your client, a manual, an online video library of all the stretches you learned that weekend, and a private Slack group for online support. Okay, and we've just got some really great testimonials. It's just brings a smile to my heart. And this is what you get. If you want more information, I'm going to give you an opportunity to get all that information, but you can also write this down. This is the website where it gives you all the info about what you're going to learn. Right now, we have an early bird special going on where you get $200 off. It's only $647 right now, Canadian dollars, for 3 days, which I think I wanted to make sure it was affordable and definitely comparable to all the other courses out there. And you can also do installments here. Okay. And if you can't meet us in Toronto, I also have your Up Your Insta Game video course where I teach you basically how I built my Instagram here. I've had such great success with using my brand through social media to generate followers, clients, etc. But also, if you take a look to the right here, some big names have approached me directly, which is kind of neat if that's what you really want to do. And of course, great reviews. And you have a special code. I'm going to send you guys an email so you guys can get all this information so you can so I can stop talking and bothering you. Okay. So I did want to say one more thing. Next week, Vanessa, what do you think of this idea? Next week, I wanted to offer a free website review. So I was going to invite people to apply, and I'm going to maybe take a look at 5 people's websites and then help them just some constructive criticism on how they can optimize their website.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, how do you want them to apply? Do you want to send me the application or something?
So I have this link right here, and I'll put
it in that. Okay.
So what you guys are going to do is just type in your email, and you're instantly I've already set up the funnel, you're instantly going to get all of this. So you're going to get the worksheets, the free Refocus Your Brand worksheets, the link to join the course to get 50% off, and also how to apply for a free website review, which is going to be super friggin' fun. So I'm going to,
Yeah, did you
I'm
see
going to
that?
paste this
Put
into
the link in the chat. I'll also link it into the live.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So if you go into the Facebook group right now, the Ladies Community Global, you'll be able to see this recording right away, and I'll put this link in the description so you can get it ASAP.
Okay, why can't I go to the chat?
Can you see it on the bottom? Do you see it says chat with 3 dots? Yeah. Awesome.
Okay.
Zoom 101.
Oops. I hope that. There we go. Okay.
Okay, cool.
So this is specific to you guys who are watching this. You will get all of these freebies and special deals.
I don't see the link yet. Did you put it in?
Oh, I sent it privately to Melanie. Sorry.
Put it in. That's okay. Put it to everyone, and then we can all. There we go. Cool.
There we go. Okay.
Awesome. Love that. You always have so much information, and I love how now you're also giving so much business advice for people to actually execute the things they're learning through your programs, which is perfect.
Well, just let me know if that's too overwhelming, guys. Like, honestly, I'm trying to dilute the information so that it's more accessible, but
yeah. I mean, I think you've done a great job with it, but let me know, ladies, in the comments. Do you have any additional questions? Was anything confusing? What are you taking away from this? Is there something that resonated with you more than others? Anything else you need clarification on, or that kind of went over your head? Let us know, and then we can kind of dive into some of those things now. I'll ask you a couple questions because I know when people have to type, it might take them a little bit longer. So get your questions in now, and I'll just be talking to Sarah while we wait for your questions to come in. What are your thoughts right now on getting phone numbers? I know on people's lead pages now, they're doing emails and phone numbers. Do you have any thoughts about that or what that looks like?
Well, I know you and I discussed it. But actually, did you start doing that yet, Vanessa?
I did, yeah. I started taking phone numbers as an optional in my lead magnet.
So that's actually, I feel like you're more better equipped to answer that question yourself. I want to do it. I just haven't.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us? Because I want to know.
Yeah, I mean, so phone numbers is definitely a route to go. Obviously, building your email list is super important, but then keeping phone numbers optional right now is really useful because you can build texting communities and people are responding to text a lot more than emails over time. So I don't know about you, but even with Corona, did you do this, Sarah? With Corona, everyone was sending out emails and I was like, oh, great. Now I know how many email lists I'm a part of and I know all the email lists that I can unsubscribe from. So consider also taking a phone number within your lead magnet and your opt-ins.
Interesting. That's really good advice because back in the day, people were hesitant to give their phone numbers. But I guess if you make it optional, it's
right.
No.
Well, some of my mentors don't even make it optional at this point, but it's really fascinating to see. So, I mean, make it optional. You have no harm in collecting that. You just need to make sure you set it up right in the back end so that you're able to collect their phone number and then export that data so that you can upload it into a texting software.
What texting service do you use?
So I'm not using a texting service yet. I'm just collecting my emails through ConvertKit. I use ConvertKit platform as my email database. But there's a few texting platforms that I've been looking into. I can let you know right now.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone in the chat wants to know, right, guys? You guys want to know?
I will. I'll pull them up because I just was actually, Mobility looks pretty good. And Textedly, I mean, they're pretty simple. It just depends what you want, whether you want images or videos. So depending on how you want to use the platform, it will dictate which platform is best for you. We do have a question though that are coming in. So, hey, Sarah, I had a question regarding introducing a relatable story to connect with your community. How did you share your story and effectively with people? Did you use videos, posts, or is it a continuous process?
Which is this a question in the chat?
Yeah, it is by Aurora and Lauren.
Okay. Sorry, which one are you asking me?
How do you share your story? Do you share it through videos, posts, like
yes.
consistently? What does that look like when you actually share?
It was a combination of all those things. So as I mentioned in your post, you want your personality to shine through. So this is the route I took, and it's different for everyone. So I just started posting videos about what I do on Instagram, and I didn't even have any audio. It was short clips, just really to attract viewers first. And then in my copy, my personality would shine through. What over time, I built that, I guess, interest. And from there, then I had a platform in which to tell my story. But there are different ways. There are multiple ways. If you tell your story first and it's eye-catching to someone, then they'll be bought in. So you have to figure out the best way to share your story. For me, it was to attract them first and then to share my story. That was effective for me. And for example, did you make videos, post things in advance? And then eventually people kept asking questions about me personally. And then I thought, wow, people want to know who I am behind the scenes. And then that's when I started to do more videos. And then stories came to, when did stories come about? Like 20 something?
Yeah,
and that was
ago.
such a great, that was such a great way for me to showcase who I am. Because if you go on my feed, there's not much personality by way of the videos because the focus is on the stretch. Right? And let's face it, most people don't really read your caption. So stories, I would definitely combine both. So put out the information that your audience wants through the posts, and then use the stories to bolster that and promote that, but also to showcase your personality and your story.
Cool. We have another question coming in about Instagram. I know you have an Instagram course, but can you just give a couple tips to optimize Instagram, get followers? Is it hashtags, videos? What are some trends you're seeing right now?
So the trends I'm currently seeing, it changes, as you know, often, because Instagram and Facebook changes their algorithms consistently. So you kind of have to test and sort of see what is working for you. So for me, I find now I have to post like every day or a couple times a day. So right now I'm trying to post twice a day. I tried to post 3 times a day, but twice a day. And I know it's a lot of work. It's a full-time gig.
And this is on your feed or stories?
On my feed.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm just posting a quick pic. It's like I have friggin' information. And if you've seen my post, I've like put the anatomy and blah, blah, blah. So it's a lot of work, but that will help bump you up on the algorithm so people can see you on the explore page and things like that. And yeah, hashtags. I never used to use hashtags when the algorithm was way more flexible, but now I will use hashtags if I remember. Because that can also help pop up on the right people's feeds. So, but I would definitely use, I would look into my Up Your Insta Game course. It's on sale for 50% off right now because my birthday's coming up. So it's my gift to you guys, only until March 31st. And I go through how to edit your videos, like how to get views, how to get engagement, and how to convert your Instagram to revenue.
Does that answer your question? Let us know, Melanie. Another question here. Do you think that your page needs to be revamped? Does it need to look a certain way, have a specific structure? Like before, Instagram used to be really pretty with like colors and then pictures and quotes and all that. Is that still something that helps you, or does it not really matter anymore?
I still think it's really important to have structure, because otherwise when people visit your page, they're going to feel it. They're going to know, okay, what is this person? So I would go back to review this course or this webinar I just taught, and then maybe watch one of my other webinars on how to create business on Instagram, is that you want it to be clear. So having no real structure, that only works for people who are already famous, right? So for you, if you're trying to get exposure and attract followers, you need to have a clear message when they visit your page. So if I were to visit your page right now, Michelle, do I instantly know what your brand is, what your message is, who you're catering to, like what is the solution, what am I going to get out of this page? So when people visit my page, they know they're going to get stretch therapy and they're going to get stretches. And I would even go as far as to start with one thing. So you mentioned you share all food, workouts, personal. First of all, you got to separate your personal and your business.
That's
If
actually another question that's coming in now is do you want a personal and a business page?
Absolutely. And Vanessa, you have two. You have
Mhm.
Lydia and you have Vanessa.
Yeah.
So I put all of my business on one. So the stretch therapist is just, I mean, go on it right now. It's purely business. You have stories to do personal if you want, but the feed itself is your business card. On your business card, you put any personal information about yourself? No. It's specifically what you want people to buy from you. Is it information? Is it eventually courses, products, etc.? So I would, yes, part of the Up Your Insta Game course, I have you purge your Instagram feed. So you have to ask yourself questions like, is this post relatable? Or sorry, is this post still relevant? If not, archive that crap. Secondly, is this post going to drive my business forward? If not, get rid of it. And there's a series of questions I have you ask yourself on each post. And I do it all the time. I'll purge, I'll look back and go like, hey, this is no longer relevant. You'll notice if you see my page, I only have 250-ish posts, right? So you want to keep it clean, concise, and you want to ensure that the message is clear. So separate your personal, guys, and just focus on one thing. So Michelle, what do you do? If let's say you're a nutritionist, it should only be about food. And then once you start to have a following, then you can start to introduce the other things to your business. So for example, I just post stretch therapy. I didn't even post self stretches or do it yourself stretches. I just stretched me stretching someone else. And no one knew I was a personal trainer. No one knew that I also taught do-it-yourself stretches. I wanted to be known as the go-to stretch therapist. You come to me to be stretched. Once I started to gain that momentum, and then there was a demand for certain things, you can use that feedback to start introducing things that you know is going to work. So now if you visit my page, it's stretch therapy and it's self stretches. But do I have any posts about my personal life? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I know this is actually a question that hasn't been posted, but I know we get this question a lot. How did you choose to launch your courses? What platform did you use?
Yes, I use Kajabi. I really like Kajabi, actually. They've come a long way. And they allow you to host your actual video course. And it also has your email campaigns, your email marketing there. And you can create pipelines. You can create sales funnels. They actually have integrated a lot of things, and you can collect sales on this platform. I at first was on MailChimp, and then I went to ConvertKit, but now Kajabi has really upped their game, and so I canceled ConvertKit and I'm just on Kajabi. And they do everything well for it. I mean, like their email marketing system is not robust. It's super basic. I know that at some point we are going to have to upgrade to something a little bit more focused and that specializes in marketing, email marketing campaigns. But for now, it works for me.
Yeah, cool. Do you need that? Because I know so many people will go to it. I mean, you have to pay for Kajabi. Do you recommend just doing a private landing page with a password or something else if people are just getting started?
Absolutely. That's how I started before I did Kajabi, because Kajabi's not cheap. I just you can post videos on YouTube and make it private. I actually teach a webinar on how to use Instagram to build a course without spending a dime.
Yeah.
There's a webinar I have on my webpage. You could also, what I did was first did emails. I just sent daily emails and had it use MailChimp, which was free, to send out automated emails every day. And then just linked it to Vimeo. or you can link it to YouTube, or you can link it to a private a private IG page if it's just like quick workouts or a quick, like, I don't know, whatever you do. There are many ways to do things for free.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, get creative. You guys don't need to be spending a lot of money on platforms, especially when you're just starting out. Just get out there, like, be raw and just do something.
I did.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You get
Vanessa's the
resourceful.
queen of just putting out content, and then see, I like this approach you take, because I try to do a version of that as well, because I try to put a lot of content out, and then you see what sticks and you're like, okay, this did really well, now I can focus my attention. Whereas if you wait till your product is perfect and then you release it, and then you don't have a chance to learn what could you do to make it better, what could you not do to save time and money. So imperfect action, guys.
Even with that too, like, Sarah's already built her courses, but you can, one thing, if you don't know who your client is and or you need more information about their pain points, like, survey your people, ask them questions, get to know who they are, and you can even pre-sell stuff. Oh, thanks, someone corrected my spelling. Thanks, Sarah. You can even pre-sell stuff so that you know if it's going to sell or not, because you don't want to be spending all this time on systems and then nobody ends up buying it.
Yeah, that's a whole other webinar.
Yeah,
you could do, Vanessa, on pre-sale. I did pre-sale Up Your Insta Game. I did pre-sale my course, Performance Stretch System, and I am going to pre-sale an up-and-coming course.
See, exciting. And then what time did you give them? You pre-sold and then said they'd get it in how long?
Yeah, so that's up for debate.
Yeah.
It's very intense programming in terms of our marketing and promotions calendar. I actually had to push it by, God, I think it was like 4 months. They don't encourage you to do it that long, but we did get a lot of, like, we got a big response from it. I promoted a lot. So
yeah, it's good. Do you ladies have any more questions before we sign off?
We have questions from the beginning?
I was reading them all to you.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Yeah, I was doing it all for you. In the beginning, they were more just asking, like, and saying what they did and all their tags. So go out, follow everyone. Everyone put their tags. Oh, we have a couple new messages. Oh, that's just Sarah. Melanie, you're welcome. Any other questions? Thank you, Sarah. I'm going to end our live on Facebook right now. So if you're watching on Facebook, thank you. I'm going to put the link. Go follow Sarah. Reach out, check out all her stuff, join her Instagram or her masterclass and or her stretch therapy system. Okay.
And don't forget, guys, if you want to get the free worksheets and the 50% off, and to apply for the free website review next week, make sure I'll post it again, the link.
And I'm going to link it above on this Facebook as well.
Okay. I'll text it to you too.
Perfect. Okay. I am ending our Facebook, but we're going to still be here. Okay. See you later. Okay, cool. So, yeah, great. Any other questions? We have some other people coming in. This sounds great. Just getting started in your fitness journey. Awesome, Nicole. Thank you, ladies, for being here. I hope this was helpful. Sarah, thanks so much for taking the time, as always, to share and always give value to the ladies community and your own community. I really appreciate it. You are awesome. Love you.
I want you to be on my webinars all the time, Vanessa. It makes it way more fun.
It's easier, right? I know. Find you on IG. Okay, cool. I'm just going to stop the recording, but we're still going to be here. So, okay.